Hello and welcome to Season 3, Episode 4 of the Discordancy podcast. So, you will see this video on Thursday, the 12th of June 2025, which means I am now 18 years of age. I made a short video that you can see right now all across my social media platforms where I simply just answered 3 questions. In this episode, I will be answering 30. I asked ChatGPT about these questions. I checked some of them. I don't know if I can answer all of these questions, but we'll see. I asked 30 questions, but I think this will be a bit of a short episode, to be honest. All right. The very first one, let's see. ChatGPT also categorized these. The very first one, how does it feel now that you're of legal age? To give you a longer answer, I feel excited and terrified at the same time because one, I am excited because there are so many opportunities that will be opening up now that I am 18, but I am also incredibly terrified that I might go to prison at any given time. I didn't do anything yet, but still gonna be a bit concerned. Next, what is the most important thing you've learned about yourself in recent years? Well, it's that I don't pronounce every single English word correctly, and that I am currently experiencing hair loss. Wow! I have already elaborated a bit about my hair loss thing in that short video. The English one, the English words, there are some English words that I simply just mispronounced incorrectly for a bit too long. I'll give you an example. Courteous. I, for so long, pronounced it as courteous. The rest of my family also pronounces it as courteous. The entire Filipino community pronounces it as courteous. It's pronounced courteous, so yeah, it's pronounced courteous. Hold on. Alright, the third question. Did you do anything special to celebrate your 18th birthday? As I record this, it is 20 to 11 on Monday, the 9th of June. So I still haven't celebrated my birthday yet, as of recording. So I still can't answer this question yet. But I am expecting that that this celebration will be just, what do you call this? Just, a bit uneventful. But, I will still eat a lot because, me, I eat way too much. I eat way too much. I just, like damn. Just dang. Okay, the fourth question. What was the most memorable experience you had before turning 18? I have a bit of recency bias on this one because I am a forgetful person. There are a lot of events happening in my life that I simply just don't remember long enough. I forgot what I ate a week ago. Exactly 7 days ago. If you even tortured me what I ate for breakfast 7 days ago, or even lunch, or even dinner, I can't tell you. I could not tell you. But there was one memorable experience that I had before turning 18. It was our Battle of the Brains competition. It occurred on the 11th of May 2024. I was still 16 at this time. And this was the very first time I was able to win something, which is why to this day I am still incredibly proud of that particular achievement because you know it I didn't really work too much on memorizing those. I simply just knew them off the top of my head, which is why I'm a forgetful person because there's too much being put in here. Alright. What the hell was that? The fifth question. Were there any goals you achieved before reaching 18? Get a girlfriend. Yes, that sounds very simple, but for this face and for this soul, it very much isn't. Because for such a long time, I simply just thought that it was impossible for me to get a girlfriend. Yet now that I'm 18, I've had 3 ex-girlfriends. Again, wow. It was something that I once thought was never possible, like my current hair loss or the fact that I am now going to college at Mindanao State University, Iligan Institute of Technology. Not to brag or anything, I actually thought I was not going to pass the exams. But here I am, with all the hard / not so hard work done, and I am now an MSU IIT student. No matter what happens, I still don't know what course I'm in, but I am going to MSU IIT. Which is a goal that I have achieved before turning 18. Adulthood and Responsibilities category by ChatGPT. The sixth question. What's the first thing you want to do now that you're 18? Vote. The very first thing I want to do now that I'm 18 is vote. Actually, first of all, is like eat and then celebrate my birthday and then vote. Yes. I am so excited now that I am 18 because you know me, over the last 3 or so years I have talked about politics and I couldn't vote in those years, but now that I can now have even more confidence in what I am saying to you because now I also have the power to change the government in almost all layers of governance. Hold on. The seventh question. Are you ready to vote in the next election? Why or why not? Yes, I am so incredibly ready to vote in the next election, whether that be the Barangay and Sangguniang Kabataan elections in the 1st of July or in the presidential elections in May 2028. It's the very first election that I'll be voting in, and at that point I'll be 20 years old. Yes, my very first presidential election that I'll be voting in is when I am 20, which sounds a bit too old for that presidential election to be your first. It just sounds too old. It just does. But I am I am incredibly excited that I'll be voting in the next elections. Uh, Number 8. What do you think is the hardest part about becoming an adult? Uh, Getting a job. I think that is the one of, if not the most difficult thing that I will ever experience as an adult, because the job market right now is tight. It is incredibly tight, and I don't know if I can get a job anytime soon. One, because of the job market, and two, because I'm going to college. Uh, okay, the ninth question. What responsibility are you most excited or nervous to handle? Okay, most excited is voting. That is the most exciting responsibility that I'll ever have. The most nervous is having a child, because at the age of 18, both of my parents had their first child. So it is not at all impossible that I'll also have a child at 18, and it'll be one of the most reckless, most rewarding, and most time consuming thing that I'll ever have. Yeah. I hope that was a comprehensive statement. Let us move on. Do you plan, the 10th question, do you plan to work while studying, or will you focus on school first? If there is work out there that I can do while studying, then I'll take it, because, hey, any money is good money. Even if I'll end up becoming a drug dealer, I'll still get some money. So, very nice indeed. Uh, yes, I do plan to work while studying, but if there isn't any job openings out there, it's fine that I'll just study first. Any Either option is good enough for me. I'll adjust to each situation. The 11th question. What course or degree do you dream of taking in college? Uh, there are a few courses that I wish to take. There's Bachelor of Arts in Political Science, Bachelor of Arts in English Language Studies, and that's pretty much it. Those two courses are the ones that I really, really want to get to, because I am good at both. I talk about politics a lot, and I talk about politics using the English language. So either course will be great, but I do prefer political science over bios. But when I applied for the MSU IIT exam, my first choice was Bachelor of Arts in English Language Studies. The second choice was Bachelor of Arts in History, and the third one was Bachelor of Arts in Political Science. Those were my choices because my family simply just did not think I was going to have a high score. Yes, yes. I know. That's what my family thinks. And they're a bit dumb. And I also am a bit dumb, which is why they thought like that. They just thought that, hey, maybe go to a course where it is very easy for you to pass, even if you have a very low score. Because they really thought that I was going to have a low score. They they simply just did not have any smidge of confidence in me. And I understand. I was failing my classes, and they were like, we're not trusting you in this very thing that you're going that will affect your future in less than 10 years time. So they did the logical thing and chose Bachelor of Arts in English Language Studies and Bachelor of Arts in History. But I don't mind, because those two things I can simply learn and pass. Uh, the 12th question. Do you have a specific career you aspire to? Well, there's like one, that is to become a news anchor. I want to be the one who is at the screen presenting the news every day for as long as I live. And any network will suffice. I can work for the BBC, for ABS-CBN News Channel, for ABC News in Australia, ABC News in the United States. What else? Maybe even CGTN, a Chinese global television network. I could work for state media. But I'll just make sure that I am reporting the truth, even if I am funded by that government, and that government controls what I say. Hey, who knows? I might actually work for a state broadcaster. I don't. I wish I wouldn't, but there's probably a time where I am incredibly broke. I don't have anyone or anything to fall back to, and I just so desperate that I'll just accept working for a state broadcaster. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? But I do wish that I could work for a world news broadcaster. You know, like Al Jazeera, BBC News, CNN, ABC News Australia, ABC News America, those kinds of networks. I like those networks, I want those networks, and I need those networks. Next, do you want to work in the Philippines or abroad someday? Either option, I would like that. Like, if I could work in the Philippines, I stay close to my homeland, and I can adapt pretty quickly to the environment because, I have lived here for all of my life. And also abroad, I could just work there and adjust and, just work there for a time. So, yeah. I do not wish to live abroad. I could live there temporarily, but not really permanently. Like, I don't really want to immigrate to a particular country, especially the United States. So, year. The 14th question. What are your top 3 goals for the next 5 years? Vote, finish school, okay, like vote in at least 10 elections, like one BSKE, one midterm, and one presidential, just 3 times over. Like okay, the very minimum, the very bare minimum, vote in like 5 elections. 5 elections. That's like, I just hope for in the next 5 years I can vote in 5 elections. Next is to finish college. Like it should be a four. Like I should finish college in 4 years' time. So that. And three, have a job. There it is. Have a job. Those 3 things I wish to do within the next 5 years. Okay, the 15th question. Who is your role model when it comes to dreams and success? Uh, this is a bit of an outlier. His name is Mike Enriquez. He is or he was a news anchor for the flagship news program of GMA7 called 24 Horas from 2004 until his death in 2023. Rest in peace. Mike Enriquez was the man who influenced me to an extent that I want to become a news anchor as well. He was the main factor, like the main person who influenced me into getting into news, politics, current affairs, and contemporary events. So, yeah. He originally worked for radio before getting into television, and apparently all of those events were not intentional. So I do wish that I also get to work for a national or international broadcaster so that I could become a news anchor or even news presenter for any news show that I have. So, yeah, Mike Enriquez is the one. Is the one who made me get interested in the news. Okay, next question. How has your family influenced who you are today? The very fact that I am not like any other teenager is partly my family's fault, because if I had just interacted more and I was allowed to go out a bit, I might have been a bit less weird than what I am right now. But there were also a lot of factors, not besides my family. The pandemic made me incredibly introverted, and now I talk to myself into a camera with no one else in the room, and I like it this way. But how has my family actually influenced me to who I am today? I think, I don't know. My family hasn't really influenced me much over the last few years. Like, I've had a bit of an arm's length relationship with my family. Like, I do love them, but there are some things that I simply just cannot get behind with. Like their political opinions about gay people. I am a center left liberal, and my parents are in the right wing conservative area. And And my family always asks me, or always questions, why I don't hate gay people, because for me, they really didn't do anything wrong. Like, if there were some gay people who were like being bad to you, it's that's not a factor of their sexual orientation. That's simply just who they are, and you should just avoid them entirely. I don't classify gay people as this one big monolith who have all the same personalities and attractions with, because that's not how humans work. So, you know, my family really has not influenced me much. Like, they have actually influenced me to the opposite direction. Like, the fact that I am a center left liberal while the rest of or most of my family is in the right wing conservative area of the political spectrum will tell you the, what do you call this? The relationship that I have with my family. Like I said, arm's length. I love them from the bottom of my heart. But do I like them? Not so much. Next, what is the most valuable lesson you've learned from your parents? I guess the the most valuable lesson that I've learned from my parents is basically just stay in school. Just like stay in school, because my parents are very smart individuals. Yet, they had a child when they were both 18 years old. It's not the smartest thing they have done. It's also not the dumbest thing they have done. But they still did it, and I do think that them having a child at 18 was a bit unwise. So that's the very thing that I have learned from my parents. It's just stay in school. Maybe don't have a child before you turn 20. Like, when you turn 20 or 21, then you can have a child. Just go and have fun, just have sex with all of those people around you, or who knows, just after when you turn 20. Will I do that? Probably not. That is close to impossible because I am scared and terrified at a woman. So, you know, maybe not anytime soon. Do you have a love life? Oh no, the wrong question. How are your relationships with your friends now that you're 18? I have cut them. There are a lot of people that I have already cut off before I turned 18. So yeah. Oh. Yes. La. Oh. Mag-base ka? Oh. Wala lang eh. Ako lang good. Magkain na daw? Hindi pa?
Video ka?
Oh.
Ka-play?
Oh. Di pa man kayo magkain? Okay. All right. Number 18. How are your relationships with your friends now that you're 18? I have cut off some people before I turned 18 because I do think that those people are absolutely pointless now that I am going to college with completely separate courses from you, and let's just pretend that we don't know each other, because just know I want to cut you off. Please don't talk to me anymore. and move on with your lives. I am not doing anything to you. Please let's just move on. So, yeah. Number 19, the 19th question. Do you have a love life? If yes, what have you learned from it? I've had 3 ex-girlfriends, and there are a lot of things that I have learned. The first one is you can never be too sure about someone, because those 3 ex-girlfriends that I had, I was incredibly sure that I was going to marry them, and yet we broke up. So that's one of the lessons that I've learned. I should never be too sure about a woman, because they can leave at any time. The next one is just do your best. Like, remain authentic at all times. Like, just never pretend that you love that person for the sake of the fact that you could tell the rest of the world that you have a girlfriend. Like, you should actually love them genuinely and wholeheartedly, because if you don't, that relationship will crumble very quickly. And another one would be uh, what else? What else have I learned from these lessons? Uh, uh, oh, right. Just have a girlfriend. Like, if you love each other genuinely, and you know you haven't had a girlfriend before, have a girlfriend. Like, that could be any woman that you're attracted to, who also is attracted to you, and you now have a mutual understanding. You can ask them, can you be my girlfriend? She says yes, and then boom, you now have a girlfriend. Even if that relationship didn't work out, it is still incredibly valuable that you've had a girlfriend in the first place, because from that point you now have a foundation of learning from your relationships and your love life, where you can then branch out into other more attractive women, and then you can improve on yourself and improve on your behavior and everything about you, and then you can branch out to now more attractive women, and boom, jackpot. So don't really be ashamed that you have more than 2 ex-girlfriends. I have 3 somehow. And yeah, just, be yourself. And those 3 lessons. You can never be too sure about someone. Always love someone genuinely and wholeheartedly. And and if you haven't had a girlfriend before, have a girlfriend, because that will build you that will be your starting base for when you will be attracted to more beautiful women, or 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 and this is possible, that girlfriend that you've just had will be the one that you actually will have for the rest of your life, and you're golden. Okay, the 20th question. What does an ideal relationship with family or a partner look like to you? I don't really have a preference when it comes to family, but with like a partner, but there are some criteria that I have. It's a bit high, so apologies. Uh, One, you have to be attractive, of course. Then next one is, my preference is someone who's chinita or light skinned. Someone who's morena and attractive, oh, okay, sure. But my first preference would be a chinita or light skinned woman. Uh, then also someone who is shorter than me, because I like shorter women. Not really short women, but just shorter women. Like, my height, like their height will just be on my shoulder, and I am very good with that. Taller women, I am a bit terrified about taller men. No, more or less. Like I. What do you? How do you say this? I'm already terrified at taller men. What could it? What could? Uh, all right. Let me just phrase this properly. I am terrified at taller men. Well, I'm a bit scared and intimidated at taller men. I am even more horrified and terrified and scared and intimidated at taller women. So I do prefer shorter women. Those women at the height of about 5'6" below. What else? Someone who's smart, or at the very least can, understand politics. Those kinds of individuals, or those kinds of women. You don't have to be incredibly smart. I am not that. I am not a smart individual. But you should have a bit of IQ in your brain, so we could understand each other. Yeah, that's basically my ideal partner. Of course, I'll almost never get an ideal partner. It's almost impossible. But that is my ideal partner. Right. The 21st question number 21. What do you love most about Filipino culture? That we're very hospitable people. Like when we see someone at the door and there's like there's someone begging to just be fed some food, we wouldn't really say no. There is a chance that we will give some food to that person because we feel a bit bad. We do have empathy as Filipinos, and we are devout Catholics, and the Bible does teach us to love one another, and we do love one another. Next, the 22nd question. How do you take pride in being Filipino? Pride Month. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I take pride in being Filipino to the fact that we are so incredibly proud and hyped when our nation or nationality or someone who is Filipino or even remotely Filipino is mentioned in anything popular. Like if there was a Filipino in Mr. Beast's video, we would watch it all the time. Oh, alright. Oh, okay. Uh, yeah. How do you take? Yeah, if we would watch a Mr. Beast video, we would simply just watch it all the time. Yeah, next. In what ways do you want to help your community? Help the community? Give money. I don't know. Next, do you believe in traditions like the debut or Filipino superstitions? There are some superstitions that I believe in. The uh, I can't really tell you any superstitions that I believe in, but there are some just at the back of my mind. Uh, the debut, like what they mean by the debut is when a woman turns 18 or when a man turns 21, that's called their debut, and that's the time when they're like actually independent and out there, something like that. I don't know really, but you know that yeah because of the fact of how my sisters were born, my younger sister will have their debut earlier than me, because by the time my younger sister turns 18, I'll only be 20. And I have to wait another year before it's my turn to do this debut thing. I don't really mind if I don't get the debut thing, because what's the point, basically? But, yeah. Number 25. Does your culture influence the decisions you make now? Well, there's just this mix of Filipino and Western culture that is just fused in my head. And some, like my family, would even say that I have been incredibly influenced by Western culture. Well, no. Well, at least not really. I have been influenced by Western culture. It's just that Western culture that I was influenced in is actually good, because I live in a conservative nation, and this conservative people simply just aren't really the best for this nation to move forward and to progress as a world class country. Like someone would say, the right thing to do is neither easy nor popular. So, I am a pro abortion individual, while this nation of Catholics, of like this nation over 85 million Catholics, the vast majority of them would say, no, that's not what God wants. Hey, is there a passage in the Bible that says you can't kill a fetus? I don't know. You tell me. But we shouldn't really base on ancient texts into what we do in the modern world, just because that's not really how anything works. So, no, just don't be pro life if you just base it on God, because what will God do? Kill you? Eh, okay, I don't know. Next, views and opinions. The 26th question. What's your opinion on the social issues in the country today? Um, the social issues in this nation can easily be solved if we just elected actually competent leaders. Corruption, poverty, extrajudicial killings. What else? Education. Like all of these things that I just mentioned to you right now, and so many more issues in this nation, can easily be solved if we actually elected competent leaders. But the thing about us Filipinos is we never elect people based on policy. We always elect them based on personality and popularity, which is not the right thing to do. Also, the first past the post system, where you simply just choose one person and whoever gets the most votes wins, is also a pretty bad system to elect a representative Congress. But it's the system that we have now. Yet, it's we fail the system before the system fails us. Like, the system of first past the post is pretty bad. Duterte was elected with about 38% of the popular vote. But he had the most votes, so he was elected, which is a pretty bad system. But then again, now that he is no longer elected, it is now in The Hague, he somehow has become even more popular than he was about 9 years ago. The Filipino society is just dumb when it comes to politics. We're just dumb, to be honest. Next, what are your thoughts on social media and mental health? Uh, what are your thoughts on social media and mental health? Um, I don't really have any problems with social media because, I have content all across social media. Uh, but the connections between social media and mental health are huge. Like, there are correlations that when you use social media often, or too much even, there is a chance that your mental health will simply just go down. So there should be some restrictions put in place into what people can post, what people can say, what people can see, and what people can do on social media. Next, if you became president, what would be the first law you'd pass? This is something that would not be answered by anyone else, but I have a proposal on the top of my head called the Congressional Expansion Act, where we would have to amend the Constitution to expand Congress to make it more representative. So basically, let me just explain my proposal a bit. For the House of Representatives, all of these tiny districts will become even bigger and even larger because instead of one district, one person, there will be one district, four people, and those districts will have 1 million people each, more or less. That will be up to the Commission on Elections to divide the lines. And yes, the Commission on Elections should be in charge of these changes, because if we were going to if we were going to allow the legislators to change these boundaries, gerrymandering will happen. Just look up the definition of gerrymandering. I don't want to explain it here, but the Commission on Elections should be the one in charge of drawing the district boundaries for those districts to have more or less 1 million people. Then those districts will be using the single transferable vote system instead of the block voting that we currently use in the Senate and the first past the post system that we use for the House of Representatives. So, this system that I have in mind is just way better. Also, for the Senate, we should expand it from like 24 and make it about 250. Like, our Senate should be 10 times larger, because 24 people only representing 115 million people. No, that should not be the reality in our country today. It was a reality back then. We had less than, less than 80 million people, but now that we do have over 150 million, we should have some changes to our constitution to make our Senate and House of Representatives actually be full of representatives, people who represent our society. Next, how do you want to contribute to the change or progress of the Philippines? Well, there is one thing that I could do. One of those things that I could do is to make the people aware of these these changes that should be made into the country, like what I'm doing right now. There's also another way: give to charity, for to give to charities that help the poor, to feed the poor, to clothe the poor, to nourish the poor, those things. Yeah, those are the things that I could do. And finally, what is your message to other young people who are about to enter adulthood? Well, one thing that I could just say is just live. Just live your life and do what you can, do what you want, and do everything that you have to do because you're only 18. There's a lot of responsibilities that you can do, but also a lot of fun that you can do. Just balance it out and you're golden. You're good to go. Anyways, that is, I think, I think that is it for now. Yeah, thank you so much for tuning in on this long Q&A thing that I'm doing to myself. And yeah. Buh. Bruh, look so odd this angle. Alright, I think that is it for now. Thank you so much for watching this entire episode or listening to this entire episode. Bye bye.